Just take their silence as a yes.
That's what I'm going to start having to do, I think. Okay. So let's go ahead. That's not the document that I wanted. This one. All right. So lesson 1.8 is about angle relationships and using them to find missing angles and to play something called paper pool, which is surprisingly kind of confusing to folks, but to some folks, but I'm hoping that it'll be like decent for you guys, just like an easy thing to do. So a couple things. What does it mean if two angles are supplementary? Do you remember what supplementary means? I need you guys to just like shout it out if you remember.
180.
Yes, thank you. And then how about complementary?
90.
Killing it, killing it. Okay, so to find the supplement is 180 of 42. We're going to go 180 minus 42, which is 138. Okay. Then to find the complement of 37, we do 90 minus 37, which is 60, 53. Does this sound familiar from last night's homework, I hope, kind of? I'm going to draw a linear pair. Here's a linear pair. What do you know about those two angles? What's their relationship? They make a line. So that's 180. And then what about vertical angle pairs? So vertical angle pairs would be like this one and this one. Do you guys remember what we know about those?
They match with the other line.
Yeah, so these two are going to match and they're going to, I don't know what shape that is. They're going to match up with these and make a couple lines, but they're going to end up being like the same or equal. So like if that's 40, then that's 40. This would be 140. This would be 140. Okay. All right. So if we look at this one, who can tell me one of the angles? I'm going to just call on someone so Lance doesn't have to do all the work. How about, I don't know. I got to unhide these names. Randall, would you be willing to answer one of those angles or try?
Huh?
Would you be willing to try to figure out what one of these three angles is? Any one of them, it doesn't matter which.
Nah.
No? Okay, so then you make sure to watch when we talk this out with the next person who tries, okay?
All right.
Let's see. Jacob, would you be willing to try one of them?
Not really.
Okay. Easton, do you have an idea about what one of these three angles would be? Okay, how about anybody? Does anybody have an idea of what one of the angles is?
N is 29.
N is 29 because they're going to match just like these ones up here. And then does anybody know how we could find P and M?
Yeah.
How would you do it?
So take the line and remind myself that's 180, then minus by 29.
All right. So the line's 180, and then we would subtract 29, so that's 160, 151. And those two are both going to match. They're both going to be 151. So this isn't me trying to be mean or rude or anything, but because we were kind of striking out on people answering that one, It sounds like some people should have maybe taken advantage of Miss Frederick this morning. So I'm hoping that Monday you guys can touch base at least about last night's assignment and or tonight's, because tonight will build off of that. And it sounds like maybe we weren't super comfortable or confident in the homework that we did last night. So now we have a bigger example. So the big objective today is to use angle relationships to calculate missing angles. So what I'm going to do is have you guys look at this picture and then see what, hey, Josue, thank you. See what angles do you guys know? There's one that's not written out, but we know the number. Does anybody see which one that is? E, yes, exactly. What's E going to be, Javaris? Yes. Wow. Okay. Now, do you guys see that 130-degree angle there also? What I'm going to do is have you guys just ignore this, okay? Just pretend that doesn't exist. And just look at that. Doesn't that look like this image up here? Kind of. It's just like two lines crossing. So does anybody know F, G, or H?
Isn't G 130?
It is. So G is 130 because they're vertical angles. They are across from each other. Oops. Who else can tell me F and or H? F and H will be the same thing, but I'm curious how much they are. What are they? Perfect, you got it. It's going to be 50 and 50 because 180 minus 130 is 50. Okay? We all right with that section, that little cluster right there? I put that 90 in there because Javaris told us that. Now, this is where some of my students get real like tripped up when they have to move up to this section because they're like, well, what the heck? I don't know any of them. But a sneaky thing, we actually do know one of them. Do you remember what we know about a triangle? Triangles are 180 degrees. So we know that that yellow triangle adds up to 180. Why would that be helpful information?
So you know the base?
So, yes. Okay. So we know what the two base angles are. So that's taken care of. And then Javaris just typed the next step, which is 40. So we know those two base angles are 90 and 50, which is 140. And then 180 minus 140 is what Javaris put there, 40 degrees, which is D. So what else do you guys know?
That B is 40?
Yep. B is 40. What are those other two angles going to be? You got it. Nice job. 140. 180 minus 40 is 140. All right. Let's go. Can I go to the next page? Do you guys want to take a picture of this? Okay, I'm gonna change the page in 3, 2, 1. Okay. So we'll do a couple more and then we're done. Okay, these look really scary, but what you should really try to do is just look at one piece at a time, okay? So we have a crap load of angles to find in this one. But what I'm going to ask you guys to do is just look here for right now. Just look at one like angle section at a time. So can anybody tell me F, G, or E in that example, in that little cluster?
G is 120.
Yep. Notice they're always matching if they're across from each other. What are F and E going to be? Oh, Javaris, I see you. This is 180 minus 120, which is 60, 60. So F and E, 60, 60. Okay, so we've got that one. How about if we look here at this cluster? I'm gonna call on some folks. How about Mubarak, can you tell me what L is?
Yeah, 70.
Beautiful.
Is this? Yeah.
Yep. And then do you want to, since you're on, do you know what the other ones are? M and K?
Isn't it? No.
Or how you would do it? What would you do?
Isn't it minus 180?
Yep. So you'd go 180 minus 70 is 110. Exactly. So this is 110 and this is 110. And this is 70. Okay. So yes, Javaris just went to the next section right here, and he said all of those are 90, which is actually completely accurate. We're going to say 90 because we make a bunch of lines. They're all linear pairs. So we got 90, 90, 90. Okay, now's where it starts to get a little bit messy. So we need to move up to angle D and to angle B. So Javaris, D is 30. Can you explain how you got that for the other folks in here?
It all add up to 180.
Because why?
It's a triangle.
Exactly. We have a triangle here. So those three add up to 180. We have 60, we have 90. So he did those two. And then did 180 minus 90 minus 60. Left him with 30. So he got 30 for D. Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. And then he also said B is 20. Do you guys understand why B is 20? It's the same like rule. It's the same reason. We have another triangle here. Oops. We have another triangle here. So it's 180 minus 90 for this one. And then minus 70. And we're left with 20. All right, A and C. Last ones. Who could tell me what A is? It's big. I'm going to give you a hint. That's a line. That's a good, I think I know why you're thinking that, Javaris, because it looks like it's maybe vertical angles, but it isn't actually 20. It's going to be bigger than that, and I'll explain that in just 1 second.
180.
It's not going to total 180. Sorry, it's not going to be 180, but the total is 180 for A and B. So we'd go 180 minus 20 because this is a line. So A is going to be 160. Does that make sense? Because these two split this.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the same idea goes over here. So we also have a line here. This splits it. So we got 150 for C. So that's like a lot. I understand. That's a lot of pieces. But what questions do you have? Like, tell me the color, for example.
How did you get 20 for the blue thing? B20.
The blue 20, B20. So, yeah. Javaris, do you want to explain or do you want me to explain how you got 20?
For the triangle?
Yeah.
I did 90 plus 70. And then whatever is left, I just, yeah.
Goes to B.
So I did 90 minus 180. And then I think I'm going to do my math on, but I'm still going. Then I got 90.
Yep.
And then I did 70 70 minus 90. Then I got 20.
So this 20 is what he put up there in that last space. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for asking that question. Who else has a question? And Javaris, thank you for explaining that. Okay. Can I give you guys a couple minutes to try this one? Do you guys want to try that one? Or do you want to go through it together? Yes, you want to try it? Or can you just say together or alone? Like if you want to do it together or together? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I see two numbers. One is hidden. This one is hidden. That's 90. If you see 190, that means all four of those will be 90. So you're going to have 90, 90, 90. All right. So that's taken care of. Then I see up here. Who can tell me what one of those angles is?
139.
Yes, B is 139. Does anybody know what A and C are going to be or how we would do that?
180 divided by 139.
Yep, 180 minus 139 is, yep, 41. 41. Okay. So then we need to transition down here. But that's tough because we don't have any numbers there, but we do kind of have numbers. How could we figure out how to, like, one of those things down there? Do you remember that triangle trick? Yeah, Javaris, you're right. So this triangle trick, once you run out of the vertical angle pairs, I then look for triangles because triangles make 180 degrees. So what I would do is I would say, okay, this triangle has 90 and 41. So we're going to go 180 minus 90 is 90 minus 41 is 49. So that's 49, and then Javar's put in that that's also 49. I want everybody to figure out the last angle because this is the last piece, and then you guys are going to do homework on this. So I want everybody to figure out D and G. They will be the same number, but I want you to figure out what it is.
$131.
Yes, it is. Did anyone else get the same thing? Nice. All right. We're getting the hang of it. So I'm thinking you did 180 minus 49 is 131.
Well, my thought process is like, how much do you go up to 180? So I look at the numbers. So I'm thinking, well, 1 is 10. So you move the 1 up to there and you say how many that takes. So I said 3 because you add 1 and 3 together, that's 4. And then 4 plus 4, then I just added the 1.
So you were just like kind of adding up instead of subtracting?
Yes.
That makes sense. I much prefer addition also. Big time. All right, cool. Well, that's it, folks. That's all for the lesson. Down here, you can write down any relationships that you might want to try to remember or anything that you're worried you might forget. I'm going to stop recording so that people that watch it later don't have to hear this.